So let's go through a few examples here. In example 1, so we draw the image and state the nature of the image. So you can see that all the lens and the object are drawn for you. So we directly use the two rules. Here we use rule number 3 and then the rule number 1 in order to draw two light rays so that we can find the intersection point of the reflected ray. So which is the position of the image. So you can see that the image is in dotted line, so we call it the virtual image. It is erect and also it is diminished. These are the nature of the image. And then the second one is the same. We use the rule number 3 to draw one light ray and use rule number 1 to draw another light ray. So we can find the intersection point of the reflected ray so that it is the position of the image. Once again, you should realize that it is also virtual, erect, and diminished. So here is the standard drawing of the concave lens. In example 2, you will see that the light ray is also drawn for you, PQRS. But how can we draw the reflected ray? PQRS, which light ray you will draw first? I will draw the R first, because it will satisfy the rule number 3. Because it's directed towards the center, the light will just keep going. It's the simplest. And then the second will be Q, because it's also follow rule 1. But P and S, it doesn't follow any rules. How can we draw the light ray? So firstly, we will draw the image first, because we have the intersection point of the reflected ray already. And actually, another very important rule is all the reflected ray will follow the position of the image. So the incident ray is come from the head of the arrow. The reflected ray will come from the head of the arrow. For S, because the incident ray it comes from the bottom of the arrow. So the refracted ray will also come from the bottom of the image of the arrow. So make sure you look careful to this figure. And the nature of image also virtual, erect, and diminished. So that's why we say that the concave lens is simpler. And for example 3, you will see that the ray diagram is a little bit different. How can we sketch it? Actually, we can consider the light ray is come from a point that is the object. And we'll draw the third one first, because the third one, the two rays are parallel to the axis. So it follows the rule number 1, so you can draw it directly. And then for the first diagram, it's also straightforward, because concave lens, there is another name called diverging lens. So the light ray is diverge. But the problem is for the middle one. How will the light ray diverge? It will go beyond the focus, at the focus, or in between the focus and the lens. So let's consider the right one. When the light ray go parallel, the light is reflected from the focus. And now you can compare these 3 diagrams. So when we compare these 3 diagrams, actually the light ray will diverge and it will stay inside between the focus and the lens. Why is it like that? We will talk about it in the next section. But here you should know the answer first.